everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Yolanda Hayes and I am a realtor in North Carolina. I primarily service the Winston Salem, Forsyth County area, but I also take a lot of referrals to the Charlotte market as well as Greensboro and High Point and areas like that. So I wanted to go ahead and jump into this video, but first, I want to take a moment to thank all of my new subscribers. You guys are showing out. Y'all showed up and showing out. My channel has completely blew up and has grown so much over the last few months, and I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for your support and everyone who has been here since day one that is still here and supporting my channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about the due diligence period. So if you're not from North Carolina, this may not apply to you. Due diligence period, due diligence fees, and things like that is not in every single state. So this is specifically for North Carolina. So I know in several of my videos I have talked about the inspections and what to get done during your due diligence period, and I will leave some videos up in the cards so that you can watch those later if you have not watched them. But today's video is just really going into a little more, a few extra tips to do, things that you should be doing and looking into during your due diligence period. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about what you should be doing during the during the due diligence period, make sure you keep on watching this channel. Okay, so during the due diligence period, yes, things like getting your loan taken care of, possibly getting a survey, getting a home inspection, things like that, that's normal. That's something that pretty much everyone should be doing. But I am a realtor that likes to take things a little bit further and really kind of coach my buyers on what to do in addition to the norm. So the very first thing that I love telling my clients to do is to make sure that they drive around the property multiple times at different times of the day. Don't just go after work. Don't just go, don't go at the same times. You want to switch it up. Visit the home that you already have an offer on. Visit the home in the evening, right when you get off work. See how busy it is. In the mornings, possibly do a drive-by before you go to work. See how busy it is. On the weekends, you don't know if that neighbor right next to you throws parties every weekend. This is something that you want to definitely know. So make sure you drive by at different times of the day. And also, there's another reason why you should definitely go and do drive-bys a few times throughout the due diligence period. If you have not checked out like the North Carolina DOT to kind of see where sewers and things are, you want to kind of check it out, because sometimes one day a wind might not, come through, but in another day, heavy winds are coming through and you smell a gruesome odor. So you want to make sure that, again, that you go ahead and do some drive-bys throughout the day. Just see how much traffic is coming in and out. And again, check on those neighbors because you just never know if they're throwing wild parties every weekend. Another tip that I want to give you guys is to make sure that you visit the property on a rainy day. Check the forecast, okay? So go ahead, check the forecast and visit the house. I know, a lot of people do not like to go out in the rain, but it's very important when you're purchasing a home because you want to know where the water is flowing, making sure that the water is not settling right out in the middle of the yard or it's not flowing where it's supposed to be. So always go out and make sure that you check the property. And if you have a realtor such as myself, you can actually have your realtor go with you so that when it rains, you may be able to spot out leaks that may be in the home. You don't know unless you have a roofer that has already gone out, like a separate inspection beyond your normal home inspection. You can actually have a roofer take a look at the roof and make sure it's not leaking or anything to that nature. But the primary purpose of going out while it's raining is to inspect the exterior of the home and to walk around the property to ensure that water is not settling where it should not be. Another thing that I do, I tend to go ahead and talk to the neighbors, y'all. So I am one of those realtors that may knock on some doors and actually ask some questions, or I have my buyer go ahead and ask some questions. If they want to take some time out when they're doing their drive-bys, they can actually go ahead and knock on some doors and talk to some neighbors. Maybe some neighbors are outside working on their lawn, and y'all, let me tell you, neighbors will tell you everything. Neighbors will tell you anything that you want to know about that house. They want to tell you about pretty much any and everything. Neighbors love to talk, okay? So take advantage of that and make sure you ask your neighbor. They'll be able to tell you every single thing you want to know about that property. Another tip is to make sure you guys check out the flood zones. Although your property, the one that you have a contract on, may not be in a flood zone, that doesn't mean you should not look around and see where you are in proximity to a flood zone. You just never know. So make sure that you look at like the FEMA website. I'll go ahead and leave the link down in the description box below, but you always want to go ahead and make sure that you go ahead and know where you are in distance, in proximity of a flood zone. You just never know that just down the road there could be a river or anything to that nature, or just anything that is pertaining to water. Just because your home is not in a flood zone, that doesn't mean that you still should not get flood insurance. So always make sure where your house is, the house that you're purchasing, is in proximity to a flood zone. And last but not least, one thing that I want to go ahead and make sure you guys do is check out the North Carolina DOT, the Department of Transportation. You never know when something is going to be getting built nearby. You just never know. You want to make sure you know where like all the airports are. Make sure that planes are not constantly going over the house, and possibly that could be, some type of disturbance. So look at the DOT so that you know where everything is. Also, the North Carolina DOT has projects that are out years and years and years, 15, 20 years away from now, that may affect you, or even may affect your ability to resell the house at a later time. Make sure you go ahead and check out the North Carolina DOT for any upcoming projects that may be going on nearby, and also railroad tracks. You don't know, if you're not familiar with that area, you do want to make sure where all the railroad tracks are. Make sure that, the house that you're buying, once you buy it, a railroad is not, over 3 streets over, that's still, very, very loud. So those are some things and tips that you want to go ahead and add into addition to all the other things that we go over in the contract of the due diligence period, and making sure you're getting things done. So I hope these few extra tips helped you out. If you have any additional questions to what you should do during the due diligence period, go ahead and leave that down in the comment box. I answer all of my questions that come through. I answer all of my emails, and I thank you guys for reaching out to me. If you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this content, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will go ahead and direct you guys to another video that you should be watching right after this one. So make sure you guys go ahead, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.